Alright guys, so I kind of started working on the control box and I was able to film any of it yesterday because there's a bunch of people out here and it was just going to be a big fiasco. So this is what the control box is looking like so far. So I actually made a rough schematic of how I wanted everything laid out, but it's what I ended up doing. I actually dropped the number of ballasting that I had by 1, so I have 5, just to make it actually line up easier and be a little bit more symmetrical. So if we start from up here, we have the amp meters here. The voltmeters still need to come in, but I think they're actually about 20 millimeters bigger in each direction than these, so they're actually bigger. And so I gotta wait for them to come in so I can actually make the holes the proper size, because yeah, the blueprint said like 92 by 92, but I'm not gonna actually trust that because I've had them be wrong before. But if we're starting up here, we have a key switch, which I can find the keys. It's actually not a key. All it is just a switch that has basically a lockout key. It's not designed to be unpickable or anything. It's not even technically a lock. It's just a switch. But you have a locking key right there for that. There'll be a cover switch here, and then you'll have the main power on and off here, which will power all the control circuitry. So basically all this has to be on for you even to be able to use this. Right here we have our preview button, so we can see what the actual output voltage of any circuit is, instead of what input we're actually at, because the input will regularly be 240, but if we decide to go 480 volt for an output, we can see that. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be using this yet because I'm keep on changing things, but it's there if I need it. So down here we have the ballasting controls. You can turn the ballasting on or off. And you have all 5 controls. The final one is going to be 50 amps, and then you've got like, I think I've got 3 amps, and then about 1.5 amp, and then about like 0.75 amp or something like that. So by the end of everything, it's going to be barely letting, I think it's going to be like 0.5 amps is total power let through. And the final one over here is going to be auxiliary, which as soon as you turn this on, will normally engage that contactor because that will bypass the auxiliary. When it's not engaged, it will be using the auxiliary. Over here we have the variac control. They sent me the wrong buttons, so if I can't get the new buttons, I will end up using these buttons because I bought some, and have to use a relay with it because I need double pull, double throw like these are, but these are maintained, so I can't use them. So then that will be for up and down, and this is for latching. So if you latch it, it'll climb itself all the way up, and then it will stop so that it's a stop switch, and then this will be for it to climb all the way down. Over here we have the voltage select. We have 120, 240, and 480. 120, this will just go from 1 hot to the neutral. 240 of it will be between both hots, and 480 will actually change the tapping of the variac. Instead of, typically you have, let's see, this one's a little bit better over here. So this is the start and that's the end. Well, instead, what I'd regularly do is use this as a start, and this tap that's somewhere there, this tap right here, I'd normally use that so then I can get a little bit of over voltage, like 277. But what I'll do is I'll change it so that if I want to go 480, I'll go from this tap to this back tap, and then all the way around will be addition, so that'll be 240 up there, and then all the way around will be 480 something. And these are actually designed for it. I pulled it up in the schematic, and it just says half the current, but you can get double the voltage at whatever voltage you choose. I don't know if they're quite rated for 480, I didn't look at it enough, but oh well. And I don't know if I mentioned this already, but these are actually not Superior Electric, they are General Radio Company, Type 50B. These actually went brand new. For if you account for inflation, $1,600 each, just the variac. So I got them for $125 each. So I'm not complaining. But yeah, so that's the variac control system. There will be a shaft, 3/4 inch shaft that'll come out of the top into a motor at like 1 RPM is what I'll probably run it at. I may even get a little bit faster. So yeah, and then that's the voltage control as well. Then here is the final output stage. You have latch and you have bust. Latch will mean when you press this button, it'll hold the output, and this is how you shut it off. And bust will basically mean that when you press this, it's momentary. So basically, if you're using the 240 volt, you could probably get about 500 amps of power if you want to really bust something. So that's the control box. I'll actually go down in the shop and start to show you what I'm working on for the button box. I'm sorry if the background's a little noisy. They're doing yard work out there, but so let me run down to the shop. I need to grab some labels and other stuff and show you what I'm doing for the ballasting control and other relay control for this. So I'll meet you guys down there. Alright, so here's the current progress on the ballasting board. Before we talk about what I've done so far and why these wires are hanging, I actually changed my mind. I'm not going to be doing the ballasting transformers up here. I'm going to try to squeeze them in down here. Reason being, keep the bottom weight a little bit higher, and I'll probably be able to make room down there for them. If I need to, I'll mount them on the side or something, but I want to try to keep the weight as low as I can in the cabinet, which you can't really tell because it's black in there. So I think what I'm going to do now is actually mount the 12-volt power supply up here. And now if I need to, I can still squeeze them in up here. There's still barely enough room where I can make them fit, but I think I'm going to mount the 12-volt power supply up here. Probably go something like that, and so that will power the relays. So what we got going on over here is this relay, if I can get my finger on the right one. This relay powers this contactor, which what this contactor does, I need to actually remove that jumper because that jumper is incorrect. Yeah, so I need to remove that jumper. What this does is actually turns on the ballasting circuit, and then that will supply power, and then this one will automatically engage, which is the auxiliary contactor, which it's on the normally closed, so it will automatically engage. So when you want auxiliary, it will disengage it and actually allow you to use the auxiliary input. And then you've got the 4 ballasting transformers here, which this one will be 50, 3 amp, 2 amp, 0.75 or whatever it is. I don't quite remember. I don't have the spec sheet on me, what I wrote down. And so that's these relays in order. So main ballasting contactor, auxiliary 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then this one's not quite used yet. So I haven't quite determined what I want to use those ones for yet. I know I'm going to use all of them. This relay here basically will disengage the other voltage ranges when this circuit comes online. So that's why these 3 are the orange wires are hanging. Because that will go to the disengaging circuit diodes just to basically force disengage the other ones, the 120, 240, and 480, because this will be 120 volt. And so I don't cause any bucking issues or anything else. And then over here we actually have the main latch and bust and on and off for the main output. So what will happen is whatever voltage range you choose, what will happen is when you actually want to engage the final output, this relay will engage. And so let's say you have the 240 volt engaged, then there will be power at this pin. If you have the 120 volt engaged, there will be power at this pin, because all this will be doing is it's going to be in series with every single output. So, because only one output can be on at a time, so I don't need to worry about anything, but it's going to be in series with all the outputs. So only the output contactors will turn on for those specific range when this relay is on, just to enable me to have latch and bust. So that's what these pink wires are for. I actually have down there, see the black marking a little bit, that's for the 240 volt, because everything else is 120. This wire here is for the 120 this relay, and so that wiper power will actually come over to probably this relay, because this will be the cutout relay, latching relay, switching relay, and then same thing over here. And this is like another 13 relays or whatever here. So that's what these wires are for. So this is to cut the other voltage ranges, and this is for the activation of it. So what will happen is these 3 wires come into the wiper or the output. I haven't decided, it doesn't really matter, but it'll probably come from the contact side of every single third relay here, of relay number 3 of every single one of these. So it'll be the relays will be in series, and that's all that really does. And then this I have to rewire still to account for a DC motor, because I actually chose a DC motor instead of an AC motor with a reversing capacitor. And this is the output view relays, and this is the main control relays. That is 21 relays there, And then all of these relays still need to be completely wired up. And these relays will be facing out to keep the voltage present farther back in the cabinet, make it a little bit more safe. All these wires are hanging right now because I don't have any feet to mount these to, so I need to buy some just to try to tidy this up as best as I can, because I don't have any more cable trunking. I'm out of it. I actually don't have any lids for all that, unfortunately, because that actually got thrown away or something. So unfortunately it's not going to be the best looking, but for now, until I can get some lids. But yeah, so that's the progress so far on all of this. I'm going to go ahead and actually start tidying up and actually try to finish this up real quick, because I still have a little bit of wiring to do, but luckily I've got some more actual color coding wires. So I've got purple, black, I've got some red, I've got some orange, and I've got some pink. So I've got enough to try to make this a little bit better color coding, and that's why I grabbed these labels here, so I can throw a label onto which one of these are, and I'll group them, and then I'll show the individual after the grouping. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to finish this up, and I will get back to you guys once I have that done. Alright guys, so I haven't got much more done. I tidied up some of this wiring. Power supply is now mounted and everything. This is all, I still have more to go, but this is most of, all of these so far are actually yeah, all of those are going to this guy. So they're actually kind of labeled down at the bottom. So like we have the voltage in, so that will be the voltage in going up to that ballast board up there. The 12 volt cert power coming through, so that has to go through the main circuitry first. Over here we have these ones. I didn't know how to quite describe it, but these are the ones. This is the final output control. And then over here we got the cut out. So this one will cut out the other circuitry, and then this one is cut in. So they're all pretty well color coded. So black is ground, DC ground. One red wire here, that's why they're labeled. One red wire is the V in. There's the V out, the other red wire is the V in. Pink is final, purple is cut in, orange is cut out. And so that's kind of how all of those are looking so far. This has to be a double latching relay, so when you want it to hold it, you click the latch button, this one will latch. Then when you click the final on-off button, so if you click the final on button, this one will latch. But if this one's not latched, this one will just toggle. So that's how that one works. So you actually need 4 total relays for this one. Actually 5 total, I think. So you have cut, you have first latching, second latching, and then you got the final one. So you need 4 total. This one's not used. So yeah, that's how all that's coming along. I gotta wait, like I said, I gotta wait till the control board is done so I can run all the wires through, because I'm out of terminal blocks. If I had terminal blocks, I'd just set up a terminal block right up here somewhere and route everything through terminal blocks, but I don't, so that's why all these are just long leads and everything. So, and because I'm soldering, I'm probably going to solder everything in the control panel, I got to run all the lengths of wire for it and then drill all the holes, do all of that still. So, but most likely I'm going to wait till I do all that until I get the final parts in, so I don't know quite how long that's going to be. I know this video is kind of long already. We're probably at about 13 minutes in at this point, but it's just kind of a long process. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while I'm remembering to remove that jumper link, because right now that power just comes straight through. So I got to remove that jumper link there, and so all that's done. So really just getting the control panel finished so I can finish up this and then get that final one mounted, mount all the contactors, and then run the big wire, and then get all the connectors for the power coming in, and build the very X stack is what's left. So still quite a bit left, but this is a big project overall. So I don't want to make this too terribly long. No, I don't want to. I'm trying to. I can't speak. I'm pretty hungry right now. I want to try to keep a lot of these under 20 minutes. I know some of them are 5 minutes, and like one of them is 19 minutes, but oh well. But anyways, without me dragging on about this, thank you guys for watching. Hope people are actually enjoying this series, because this is a fun series for me to do. I'm actually having a lot of fun with this, and I can't wait to have it done. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.